Hey guys, unfortunately it's me again. I still have some sort of sore throat. The past couple of days have been very hectic for me because I'm working on a side project, an animation that I've been thinking about for the past year really, and concepting. And amidst all the other things that I have going on right now, I want to apply for some funding, for some grants, and this is just so extremely time consuming. So it's 7 a.m. right now on a Saturday, but I have a long day ahead of me. Plus I want to make this video because I found like 2 workflows that over the past couple of weeks have brought me so much joy and also exponentially sped up my process of concepting and rendering and just getting my vision across to other people, maybe even for applying for funding. Because as you know, applying for some funding or some grants is a little bit more tedious than some might think. However, first, let's see this animation. It's sort of supposed to be a sci-fi, but what you're going to see is more of a mood piece, really. In the end, it's inspired by stuff like Command and Conquer, the old Command and Conquer games. Obviously, there's hints of Warhammer is supposed to be in there. But again, this animation is just sort of a mood piece. However, this only took me like 2 hours of working time, excluding rendering. And I think that's quite something. So let's have a look at it and then we'll talk about it. I'm not lying when I'm saying the basis of all of this is 3D, but there have been some tricks to make it look how it looked in the final render, and this is exactly what I want to talk about right now. And I know that I have to be clear and honest about it up front, and I know that some of you might not like the workflow because it obviously includes using artificial intelligence. And with this sentence alone, I probably have lost a lot of you. For all the others of you who are sticking around right now, I think I have a couple of cool workflows for you. As you can see, I needed some highly specific 3D models, and there are a couple of ways of going about it. You could either find maybe a broken Soviet wreck plane somewhere on the internet and then buy it, which I love to do as well. I love going asset shopping. Right now there's like a cool sale on the artist studios as well. But for this case, I just really wanted to explore different workflows, different means of getting my highly unique assets. And now we're coming to the juicy part. Because while I was working on the concept and idea of this, I released my last video talking about how you can make images to 3D and then run it locally. So a service that I've been actually using for a year or so saw this video and hooked me up and was like, hey Niels, we are Tripo AI and we are releasing a new service, new software, new kind of sub-service within our website. And we want you to test it out, give us feedback, and then do something with it. And I thought that is the perfect opportunity to check out a new workflow and see what this is all about. So now we're talking specifically about the soldiers and some dummy assets for this plane. But in all reality right now, let's focus on how to quickly get this model of a soldier. Because if you go to Tripo 3D AI right now, you can see the Tripo Studio is live right now. And if you have a free account, you can check it out and have a pre-recorded video about this, which we're going to see in a second. And I want to mention that Tripo AI didn't just hook me up like with beta access to test all of this cool stuff out, but they want you to check it out as well. So there is a link in the description down there. If you click on it and you sign up for free, no need to get out a credit card or anything, just sign up with your Google account for free. You get like 600 extra credits. First 500 people to get down there and click this link and sign up get like 600 extra credits. And as you can see, like one generation is like 35 credits, which means you will get around 15 3D generations for free on top of the 300 credits that you already have. So that's like 20 generations for free without paying a cent. Additionally, if you love what you are seeing right now, there is a promo code NILSGALLIST, like the channel name, and you will get 60% off of a pro subscription, which is also cool. Disclaimer, I have actually been using this platform well before they contacted me. I am a fan of this service. I'm not getting paid in commissions for when you guys sign up. I think I'm getting credits when you do sign up, but since they hooked me up with a pro account, that's all fair and square anyways. So I'm actually talking about a service that I'm a fan of, and I just want to spread the word. But let's get back on how I use Tripo Studio to actually bring this soldier here into my render and concepted the shot that I wanted to, and make the composition that I want to. So how did I go about making the soldier within a couple of minutes to an hour max? So I quickly prompted an image. I believe the image I prompted with Google Gemini, since I have a Google Pro account anyway. So I prompted an image with Gemini. You can prompt images and 3D models right within Tripo Studio, but since I know Gemini, I just did that. Then I asked it to make a little character sheet of it. So left view, right view, and back view. Because in Tripo AI Studio, if you have a Pro account, you can actually use the multi-view, which means that you can give it all of those 4 sides to make the model that it's generating much more accurate. If you only give it one image, which is absolutely possible and fine, obviously it does a lot of interpretation then, and the back might not look as you want it to. So you have more control over it if you give it more of those images. However, again, you can also use a single image if you want to. Now there are like 2 options for generating a 3D model that you can choose. One click and build and refine. One click solution is that you just, upload your images, you click on generate, and what you get is pretty much a final result that you can alter anyways. Build and refine lets you go through the steps all manually, and just intersects some options that you can adjust on the way to your final product. In this case, I'm always a fan of build and refine because I just feel like I have more freedom over a lot of these these options. But you can see that just by clicking build and refine, there's already like a very sophisticated model of this soldier coming up, and we are at like 3 minutes of work time right now. Maybe if you're a bit picky about your images, you're like, it's 10 minutes right now, and you already have like a great 3D model of a soldier. If we concern ourselves with like the top view of this screen recording, we can see that we have a couple of subtopics: generation, overview, segmentation, retopology, texture, rigging, stylization. So you see there's a lot of things that Tripo Studio is offering. In this case, I was, for this soldier, more than happy. Hey, post-production Niels right now. 2 days after recording this video, I'm just editing over the timeline of this video, and I realized that I've been glazing over the features of Tripo Studio for like the next 30 minutes, but I want to spare you all of the details. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to have like a dedicated video only about all of the features of Tripo Studio, because there are so many. However, there are a couple of highlights that I want to point out because they were important for this workflow. The most important and the most impressive, in my opinion, is the magic brush. Is the ability to paint over the model textures that you generated. So based on your camera view, you can just paint like in Substance Painter or like in Blender Texture Brush over the model with the new generated texture, increasing the quality and maybe giving it more styles. This, in my opinion, is the biggest game changer. This is a novelty. This is amazing. This is crazy cool and absolutely useful. I used it for this workflow extensively, and it is so much fun. It is so much fun. Secondly, there is the smart low poly feature, so you can retopologize all of your models within Tripo Studio, making it low poly if you have like a low poly production in your video games and or your animation. This is the original model, high poly, incredible detail all the way around from like my cartoon soldier. And if you click smart low poly, it's working it out to be well optimized for your game, for your mobile application, for all of your low poly advancements, and it still keeps the texture quality. This is great. Edge flow and all of this, I would have no problem using this in my animation with some light tweaks on the edge flow, maybe on the elbows. Cool, really good. And segmentation, you can get even more detailed if you select your model and click start segmentation, which lets you segment your model into different parts, which you have full control over by brushing over it if you want to, and lets you edit all of these parts individually from each other.
remixing them not just in texture, but in future also regenerating geometry and also retopologizing them. But again, for me, the most important and the coolest part about all of this is this texture generation right now. Just have a look at the clip that I'm showing you right now and tell me you're not excited about this. But okay, back to the video.
So, and this is how I created all of my soldiers for the shot, even the close-up. For the close-up, I didn't even, you see, I left it as pretty much untouched out of the software as it gets. So you can download it, right, as a GOB, put it into Blender, Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. I think in Blender, I made his eyes a little bit more metallic, so it's more reflecting. Other than that, I left it as is, downloaded it as is, and put it into my render. Huge time saver. So now we're done talking about the soldiers, and we're also done talking about Tripo Studio. So I'm sorry if I'm glazing, but like the texture mapping, the texture brushing alone makes me so hopeful because this was such fun creating those models. Again, link in the description. The first 500 people to sign up with this link get extra credit, get extra free credits. And if you love the service, if you like the service, use the promo code NILSGALLIST, like this YouTube channel, until June 15th, I believe. Go at it. Have fun. I mean it. I mean it. But let's talk about the airplane for a second. So again, generated an image of like a broken Soviet plane using Google. So again, I believe it's been a week. It's been a week. So with this image, I went to a image to video service and told them just to go around with the camera. Clockwise, counterclockwise, move up to the top, give me the plane from a couple of angles, stay consistent, give me this output. Put that into Topaz Video AI to upscale it to 4K and do some frame interpolation and save that as JPEGs. With those images, I went into reality capture by Epic, and at this point I had like 700 images of this plane from a couple different angles. I thought to myself, you know, maybe I could do some good old photogrammetry to get as much detail out of this as possible. And to my surprise and like to my delight and fun, it worked. So out of a generated image, I could create a high density model, photogrammetry model that I could put back into Blender and light it however I wanted to. And put it back into Blender and light it however I wanted to. So let me drag this up here. There you go. So there are great tutorials out there on how to work with reality capture and software just like that. And it's rather straightforward and easy to get into this. I promise you all of this took me like 2 or 3 hours of work time, including the prompting and everything. And now we come to the final part. Because one render, I don't know if it's saved in the RAM. It's probably not saved in the RAM. It's not saved in the RAM. And because like one image, due to all of those volumes, took like 20 minutes to render. By the way, these are the resulting images out of the render. I did not have the patience right now to render like all of the 20 seconds by 20 minutes per frame. So I also went back here into Korea. And you can see that there's a couple of iterations of those videos that I prompted. So this is it. This is how I created this animation in the beginning within a short amount of time, highly iteratable. And also I could get enough sleep, enough exercise, and stay healthy all the way around, and also have like a great output. So for me, this workflow proves that it's feasible more and more to make great stuff. I'm more hopeful about the huge Herculean task that I have in front of me, creating my idea, which hopefully I can share something about in the future. In the near future, I'll make sure that I'll start this year with the animation process. Thank you guys for sticking around. Obviously, I have to shout out like my Patreon and my subscribe to my YouTube channel and maybe Instagram if you're really into that. But all in all, I'm just happy to share some fun that I've had over the past couple of weeks, and I'm delighted if you've got something out of it as well. In this case, I see you guys in the next video, whatever this is going to be in like a couple of months. Let's be honest, and stay safe and have fun.